Good morning, everyone. We are the Group 5, and our topic for today is about design thinking. Objectives: execute the empathize, defines, ideate, prototype, and test stages of the design thinking process. Design thinking is a progressive teaching strategies that allows students to look for real-world problems and finding creative solutions. Students do this by focusing on the needs of others, collaborating for possible solutions, and prototyping and testing their creations. This can be summarized in 5 stages: emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. The first stage is empathize. The goal of design thinking is for students to respond to a particular need, a real-world problem, so it is fitting that the first stage is empathy. In this stage, the teacher needs to be explicit in guiding the student to put themselves in the shoes of others through activities like immersed observations and interviews. According to the developmental stages, it is not natural for children in the primary grades to be empathetic toward others. It is a common observation by teachers that students at these levels often do not realize that their actions affect others. So, applying design thinking in the classroom gives the children the opportunity to cultivate empathy and at the same time develop their problem-solving skills. It means that in design thinking in education is like teaching kids to understand and care about others and is about helping students solve real problems. The first step is empathize. Teachers guide students to see the world from someone else's perspective, and teachers guide kids to understand how others feel through activities like watching and talking to others. For younger kids, it's not automatic to think about how their actions impact others, and it's not always natural to think about how their actions affect others. Design thinking helps them learn to be more considerate and at the same time become better at solving problems. It's like a cool way to grow both kindness and smart problem solving skills in kids. Also, it involves understanding the needs, feelings, and perspectives of the people who will use the product or service being designed. Empathy is crucial in design thinking because it allows designers to create solutions that are tailored to the needs and preferences of their users. During the empathize stage, the designers use a variety of research methods to gather insights into the target audience. These methods might include interviews, observations, surveys, and user testing. The goal is to gain a deep understanding of the user's perspective, including their pain points, preferences, and goals.
Define. The next stage is for the students to define the specific problem or issue that they want to address. First, the student will identify an audience, the future users of the product they will help develop. Their audience can be students, teachers, family members, or just anyone in their community. Then the students will use the information they gathered from the empathize stage and focus on one aspect of the problem. It is important that the students be able to identify a true problem because it is impossible to successfully complete the design thinking process without a meaningful problem to solve. So define student need to locate the specific problem or the issue that they want to address or give a solution. But first, they need to consider the audience where this is the reason to the product they will develop. The audience will be students, teachers, family members, or anyone of the community. The information that students gathered will use to know what will see the solution problem and came up to the possible solution on that problem.
Ideate. The third stage of design thinking is the generation of ideas to solve the identified problem. This involves brainstorming and research. The students are to be encouraged to think out of the box and produce radical ideas. What sets this stage apart from the brainstorming is that all ideas must be written or illustrated. Ideas are usually written or drawn on sticky notes, and students later on organize them into a mind map able to apply their mathematical. So, ideate, this term refers to the third stage in the design thinking process, where the focus is on generating creative to address a given problem. It involves a combination of brainstorming and research. During the ideation stage, students engage in brainstorming sessions to come up with a variety of potential solutions. Research is also conducted to gather relevant information that can be informed the ideation process. Students are encouraged to think creatively and generate innovative solutions that go beyond conventional or traditional approaches. The aim is to foster unconventional thinking, unlike typical brainstorming where ideas might be discussed verbally. In this stage, all ideas must be documented visually, either through writing or illustrations. This helps in capturing and expressing ideas more tangibly. The ideas generated are often recorded on individual sticky notes, making them easy to manipulate. Afterward, students organize these notes into a mind map, visually connecting and categorizing related ideas. It is at this stage that the students will be knowledge and skills aside from being able to operate their problem-solving skills. They will also be able to apply specific content knowledge like measurement, proportion, geometry, and statistics. During the ideation stage, students not only exercise general problem-solving skills, but also apply specific mathematical knowledge such as concepts related to measurements, proportion, geometry, and statistics. The ideation stage is a critical point where students actively apply their problem-solving skills to propose potential solutions to the identified problem. In addition to problem-solving skills, students utilize their understanding of mathematical concepts like measurement, proportion, geometry, and statistics to inform and enhance their proposed solutions.
Prototype and test. Finally, the students go through a repetitive cycle of prototyping and testing. A prototype is anything that a user can interact with in order to later on provide feedback about it. It can be made of easily accessible materials like paper, cardboard, sticky tapes, recycled plastic, and so on. Once a prototype is created, they test it or allow a user to test it and then make improvements or possibly overhaul the design depending on their observation and feedback of the user. In these stages, it is important to emphasize that it is totally fine to fail at the first attempt of prototyping. The trial and error aspect of the design thinking process is glorified because it is believed that students learn a lot through their failures, even though a physical product is the expected output of design thinking. It should be emphasized that going through the process is more important because it is where the learning takes place. Those prototypes and tests go to educators so they can test them and provide feedback, which we then use to make improvements and optimization. And the process repeats until we validate that we are actually supporting them with the challenges they face. The whole process gave us very complete picture of the overall experience for teachers and students. and a good review into how the prototypes were used and incorporated into math lesson. It provided great insights that are helping us optimize the solution so that we can increase our likelihood of having a positive impact among teachers and students. It helps us understand the problems teachers may be facing, the different jobs may be doing as part of their math teaching, and the challenges they may be experiencing. Using that knowledge, the team first determines which problems they can help address. Then, they consider solutions that help address those problems or help educators have a better experience in their math lesson planning and teaching. Then, they create prototypes and tests of those solutions.